Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in. Today I am doing something special. I'm going to do a two-part video. So I'll release this one first, and then the next one will be a couple days away from this. But I'm going to do a whole wedding. So it'll have a bridal bouquet, groom's boutonniere, bridesmaids bouquets, and boutonnieres for the groomsmen. So all the flowers I just showed you there are from my favorite store, Hobby Lobby. They have a great selection, and I caught them when everything was on sale. It was 40% off, so I was able to scoop up as many artificial flowers as I needed, and that's where I got the inspiration to do a whole wedding for you. I always start off by prepping my flowers. So I'm removing everything from the bushels and pulling off the leaves. However, I save the leaves. That guy I accidentally put in the trash. But I love hanging on to the leaves and the foliage. Even some of the nicer stems that I trim up, I'm hanging on to those little pieces too, because they do come in handy every now and then. The leaves you can use in boutonnieres and corsages. Some of the stems you can use to, if you're doing a natural stem wrap. I just like to hang on to everything. As I mentioned, I did get this from Hobby Lobby. They have a great selection, especially the his and hers. And if you look off to my side there, those flowers are going to be used for the bridesmaids bouquets. So I should be able to create about 4 bridesmaids bouquets with that, but that'll be for a different video. Today I'm just prepping up my cream and neutral white colored flowers that I'll be doing for the bridesmaids bouquet. Um, and I do have to say, I had no clue what I was going to do for the videos this week. And I walked into Hobby Lobby, and it was seeing this color combination that really inspired me. And then, of course, the sale that they often have. So if you missed the 40% off sale, just wait about a week or two. They'll have it again. So they have great prices there. Hobby Lobby is a wonderful place to shop, especially for wedding flowers and ideas. And speaking of ideas, if you're looking for more bridal bouquet ideas, I do have a book that I published. It's available on Amazon in paperback, and you can get a digital copy instead. It's a little bit cheaper. I'll put the link in the descriptions. I will link down I call it OK Bouquet. It's a pocket guide to floral bouquets. I will put a link down there or in this video that you can click on, that you can purchase it through my Shopify account, but it is cheaper for you if you go through Amazon. It's like a penny cheaper, but just throwing that out there. But in this pocket guide, it's about 45-ish pages of just bouquets and flowers and ideas. So if you're just looking for a way to start, a direction to go in your wedding, this is a great guide to look at. So as I mentioned too, I am doing the bridal bouquet. So I'm starting off this two-part video with the bridal bouquet, and I will do the groom's boutonniere. So traditionally, over all the weddings I've done, you'll find the bridal bouquet will be like the white or cream or a solid colored bouquet of the bride's choice there. And then the bridesmaids is usually where the pop of colors come in, mix and matching different flowers, different colors, different textures. So going along with that same idea, I am doing a primarily cream colored roundy moundy, I like to call them, or round hand-tied bouquet. I am adding some taupe colored cosmos because, wow, this artificial cosmos stem that I got from Hobby Lobby is beautiful. I've purchased it in paper white color too, but just the definition and the color, I just love it. I love this bouquet. It's just very elegant, yummy looking bouquet. So I am working my flowers in the hand tied fashion, so all the stems are going to be pointing in the same direction. I do that not to create, or so that I don't create any confusion when looking at the bouquet. Once you have intersection within an arrangement, that's kind of where your eye goes, especially if you have many flowers all flowing in the same direction except for one. Your eye's just going to go right to the ugly part, and you don't want that unless you're dealing with like calla lilies, and that is where you want your focal to go, but that is a whole different video. Along with the cosmos, I did get some kind of creamy white Gerber daisies. So that's the ones with the yellow centers. I did get a bushel of cream roses. And then I got some individual stems of garden roses. And on this stem, it has a beautiful large garden rose. It had a little bit smaller garden rose and then a bud of a garden rose there. Of course, all the foliage. And I trimmed that back to just single stems. And I'm going to use my two biggest garden roses as kind of my front or focal part of the bouquet, because they are A, more expensive than the other flowers, and you really want to showcase them, and B, they have a little bit higher quality than the other flowers. So putting those up front and right in your face is a good thing, because it shows good quality, good craftsmanship on those flowers. Not that the other artificial flowers are crappy, it's just this one's a little bit more better. I think I said that right. Since all the roses and the daisies, since they are all kind of the same tone, that kind of cream, I'm not too concerned with placement, except for the bigger garden roses. I want those a little bit higher, a little more towards the front. But like if there's multiple other roses next to each other, multiple daisies next to each other, I'm not too concerned about that, because it's not going to throw off the weight of the bouquet. But those cosmos will. So I'm trying to take care on placement with those and disperse them evenly throughout the bouquet itself. I do have this beautiful kind of silvery Dusty Miller green greenery, I guess, that I have cut off into a little bit smaller chunks, and I'm going to use that around the collar of my bouquet. It's going to do a few things for me. It's going to hide my mechanics, so you don't see all the workings, inner workings of the bouquet. So it just looks like a beautiful group of flowers, and nobody knows your secrets. So it hides my mechanics. It gives a little bit more of a different color there, adding more interest towards the base. And it also adds movement. When you start working with artificial flowers, you tend to kind of lose that movement just because they're a little bit more stiff than a traditional flower. But by having something that hangs down, kind of dangles over like that, it gives that movement. It just makes an elegant entrance, especially walking down the aisle. Photographs, it'll look really beautiful into. So I worked that all around the base of the bouquet, lots of tucking and pulling, because I'm human. Sometimes my grip loosens and things fall. But I did kind of trim off a few more of those, trim up that greenery a little bit. I got a little carried away with it. But once I have it all laid out there, I will tie it off with a chenille stem. And as you can see, I held back kind of one of the medium-sized garden roses, and I'm going to use that for my boutonniere. In weddings past, that's kind of been the preference, is to pull one of the flowers from the bridal bouquet, and then that would be on the groom's boutonniere. So keeping with that same tradition, I'm going to save one of those garden roses. And I was going back and forth on whether or not I wanted to add a little bit of that Cosmo in there or not, put a little touch of color. And ultimately I did decide to do that. Kind of made it a little bit more special than just a rose boutonniere. As I said, I am tying it off with a chenille stem once I have everything where I'd like it to be. And you can see I had some animal print chenille stem. I'm not even sure where that came from. But it's all going to be covered up with wax floral tape, so nobody will know that there is a tiger print on the bouquet handle there. And I'll put a link in the descriptions also for wax floral tape, floral wire, and some tools that could help assist in making your own bouquet or wedding flowers. Moving on to the groom's boutonniere. I'm just trimming off anything that might be hanging over on the stems of the Cosmo and the garden rose. So the garden rose, it has a beautiful stem. It's got a little bend to it, but it didn't bend in the way that I wanted it to. So I am adding my own floral wire to it, so I can have a little play if I wanted to bend it more forward or off to the side. I have the ability to do so. Once I wrap it in the wire, I'm going to cover it with a wax floral tape. And wax floral tape does come in different shades of green. It's not always this dark green. There's a lighter one. There's also white, brown, black. Oh, and also on in Hobby Lobby, they have a glitter tape. So there's like, it's in the his and her section or the wedding aisle at Hobby Lobby there, but it's a silver glitter or a gold glitter, like wax floral tape, only it's not wax, but it's just like a tape on the underside. So you can wrap the stem of your boutonniere or your corsage and give it a little touch of color. I'm trimming off just one sprig of the silvery greenery. Just keeping it nice and simple for the groom's boutonniere. Trimming off anything that would interfere with wrapping with the wax floral tape. Once I have everything gathered, I'm going to tape it all together. And then from here, I decided to wrap the stem in a ribbon. And that's another option if you didn't want to use like gold or silver tape from Hobby Lobby. And say you have a burgundy dress that you're trying to match a boutonniere to, you could wrap it in that ribbon that matches. So I measure about 3 fingers down for the boutonniere. I think I might have did 3.5 because I am wrapping it in the ribbon. I just wanted it to actually be noticeable. Making sure everything's nice and tight with the wax floral tape. And then the ribbon that I used, it's a little bit thicker than what I would recommend in wrapping a boutonniere stem or a corsage stem, but I was able to make it work. It's the same ribbon that I'm going to use on the hand wrap for the bride's bouquet, which is why I kind of wanted to give it a try. It is a single face satin wired ribbon, so I like to use something a little thinner, what they call like a number 3. This one's actually like a number 9, but just keeping in the same way of wrapping a stem wrap, I'm going to go down the back of the boutonniere, kind of make an L shape so that I gather the underneath of the boutonniere stem, and then just wrap it all the way up. It ended up folding over itself and turning out pretty okay for the wrap. So wasn't my actual method that I wanted to do, but since it was working, I just went with it. So sometimes it's easier to go with the flow than try to swim upstream. So when I get to the top, I'm not a huge fan of hot glue, but I did add a little dab of glue. I find that hot glue, especially with satin ribbon, it tends to buckle underneath, and then there's always the worry of getting the spider web streams that you can never seem to get all of them away. But along with the little bit of hot glue there, I'm going to hold it with half of a corsage pin. I'm just trimming up the end of it, and then I'm going to stab it on through. And I trim it because you do not want that pin to go through the other side. So you don't want somebody giving the groom a hug and then getting stabbed by a corsage pin holding the ribbon. That would be absolutely horrible. So you trim it up, make sure nothing's poking out on the other side, and then you got a cute little groom's groom's boutonniere. Oh, and part of the leaf, it just wasn't staying up for me, so I just thought I'd make it nice and neat and give another little dab of glue and hold that leaf in place. Moving on to the bridal bouquet. As I mentioned, I did do the stem wrap with the same type of ribbon. So I measured about 2 of my hands down on the stem itself and then wrapped it in that green wax floral tape from top to bottom, tucking in any loose wires, making sure nothing's poking out. To do the hand wrap itself, I'm going to run along the back of the bouquet to the bottom, and I kind of make that backwards L, grabbing the very bottom of the bouquet. If you're doing this yourself at home using the wired ribbon, it is a bit easier as far as it will kind of stay where you put it, so you don't have to keep that constant pressure on the ribbon itself. I prefer a double face satin ribbon, no wire. That way the edges don't show as much. because with the wire on it, you've got a definite edge to your ribbon. And wrapping it back up the bouquet handle, you want to pay attention that it's going to wrap up evenly. So you have a nice consistent row after row of ribbon going up, and there's no different like gaps in the ribbon itself as it goes up. So that's either way, double face satin or the wire ribbon. I mean, either one works, just different ways and different things you got to pay attention to as you're wrapping it up. My camera fell, so I had to cut over to this angle here. So I wrap it on up, and you don't have to use the whole ribbon spool. You could measure about 3.5 times or 4 times the length of the handle, and that should get you all the way up the handle. If you wanted to make sure you didn't sacrifice any extra ribbon, you can also do it on the spool like I am here. And then once I get to the top, I'm going to trim it up, and I'm going to give it a nice tight twist. And that is going to be my stopping point, and I'm going to put a corsage pin on either side of that little twist right there, and that's going to hold everything nice and tight for me. Again, very careful not to poke the pin all the way through. I like trimming up my pins. You can do a little dab of glue if you'd like to make it even more safer, but just jamming those little corsage pins right on in there. And I like to do this at the back of the bouquet. Once you're done creating your bouquet, you can find a definite front and back, and I like kind of signifying that this is the back of the bouquet, so whenever the bride picks it up, they know that's the back of the bouquet, and they put the good side forward. So there we go, made it all the way to the end. So this is part 1, the bride's bouquet and the groom's boutonniere. Stay tuned for part 2. Thank you.